Alright, what I want to do today is go ahead and show you how to take the slop out of the rear bushings. We're going to be working on an Audi R18, and we're going to take some of the slop out. That'll help you get a little bit more smooth performance. Help put the power down a little bit. It's a pretty easy process. It's the old timer's trick, a little super glue. So we'll go ahead and you can see on this one it's got a little shake to it, so we'll get started. Yeah, first things first, all we want to do is remove the two rear wheels and the crown gear. So we're just going to loosen up the grub screws, take them off, get that out of the way so we can get at the axle. One of the things I like to do is these cars are racing all the time, so we usually glue these bushings in. So I usually scrape any super glue that's in there out, just so we easier to get press some bushings out. Then I just have a file here. It has a diameter about the same as an axle, so I usually just push that in and I put my finger on the back side and just give it some firm pressure and push it out into that finger, because they will pop out and they will go flying and you probably won't find them, so be careful. Now this is a slotted car, so these are probably the hardest bushings to do, but we're going to go ahead anyways. Okay, now that you have your bushings out, you want to slide them on your axle and move them back and forth, and you can see here there's a little wiggle. That's what we're going to get out of here today, take that out of there. So what you'll need to do is make yourself a little tool. So this is an old axle that I had. It was out of a cheaper car, and you can kind of see there's a knurled end on it. What you got to do is put this in your screwdriver, get a flat file, round over one end of it. Don't have to be sharp, just got to be rounding over. Then take some 220 or 320 wet sandpaper and just smooth it out, and you'll have yourself a tool that you'll use over and over. So put it someplace safe. What the idea here is, you have a smaller diameter axle that you use to build the film thickness to tighten up the tolerance. Now the next thing you want to do is put a drop of super glue in your bushing, roll it around your fingers, and set it aside for about a minute. Let it set up a little bit. Then go ahead and put your tool in your drive motor and put a little oil on that tool and slide the bushing on there and spin it for about 20 seconds. If it does get stuck, just take a pair of pliers, grab onto it, let it spin. It'll come loose. Just be careful not to pull the glue out of it when you're bringing it back off the other end of the tool. And go ahead and clean off that, and I like to take a little wet sandpaper and just get any extra super glue residue off before the next step. Next step is to get yourself some toothpaste. Any kind of toothpaste will work. What you're looking for is just that little bit of grit that's in toothpaste, because you want to polish that thin layer of super glue that we added. So just go ahead and spread that on there, then take your bushing, put that on there, and you want to run this for about maybe a minute or so. And sometimes it'll slip or get stuck. If that happens, you just go ahead and take your pliers and grip onto it lightly and spin it. It should spin free. And you want to do this for, like I said, about a minute. And then once you got that all polished up, go ahead and rinse it off real good. Get that toothpaste off there. And then we can go ahead and set it on your axle and test it. As you can see here, significantly tighter. So we're going to go ahead and put this back in the motor housing that has the bushing holders. Now the easiest way I found to get these in is just go ahead and put them in where they're supposed to go and give them a gentle squeeze with some needle nose, and they should pop right in. Now I skipped doing the other bushing just to save time, but what will happen is if you test fit it and it's still sloppy, you repeat the process over with the super glue, the polish, and then the test fit until you finally get that tolerance tight enough. We'll slide the axle back in there and Give it a few pushes. Yep, slide smooth. Now I usually put a drop of super glue just to kind of hold them in place, and I let that kick off before I do anything else. And you can see I get everything put back together. A little drop of oil on the bushings themselves, and this car is ready to go.